Hey there guys, I'm back to another video. Today I'm here doing another Sonic the Hedgehog tier list. Today we're going to be ranking the Sonic IDW characters based on just like my own personal opinion of them. So obviously the Sonic IDW series, I talked about it earlier last year, or not maybe earlier, but I talked about it last year. I did a whole review talking about the first 30 issues of the series. I'm not fully caught up on the series because I still have to go to my local comic book store and get the newest issues, but I'm relatively up to date with the Sonic IDW series. My opinion of the series has not changed since that video. My opinion of Ian Flynn is a little wishy-washy in how he writes the characters and things like that because of certain videos that were brought to my attention after I made that video, which I might make a whole other video, just me talking about Ian Flynn and sort of my thoughts on Sonic IDW in the future when we do get more issues, maybe after issue 50 or something like that. But yeah, you know, I'm just going to be ranking these characters based on my own personal opinion of them and sort of how I view them and how I think that they should work and interact with these Sonic characters within this IDW universe and how they're written and etc, etc. So first thing I'm gonna do is add a row below and just put characters that I don't know, IDK. These are just characters that I have no idea their names, what their role was within the certain arcs. I'm sorry, I am TV Sonic, but I don't know everything about the Sonic IDW series from the heart, if you will. Obviously, I know like a lot of the major characters, and if I happen to forget who a character is and what their role was, I apologize. So, first up, Rouge the Bat. I think the way Rouge is written within the series is good. I think that Rouge the Bat, especially in SA2 and Sonic Heroes, really gave her sort of the character development that she is today, sort of who she is as Rouge the Bat, because I think after that they don't really touch on Rouge. She's not really a main character in like any of the other games. So the way that she's handled within this series, you know, she has her own agenda. She's still a jewel thief, etc, etc. So I think that the way that she's handled, it's B. It's pretty good. It's not, you know, like amazing, but you know, it's definitely above average, which is above C. So SBO, I think the way SBO and the Chaotix overall were all introduced, which I'm gonna move them all together here. I think that the way that they were all introduced and the way that they play out within the series is pretty good, honestly. I think that Charmy, there's obviously going to be spoilers for the IDW comics if you haven't read them, but within the Zombot arc, when he goes back to save that person because he's ignorant and he doesn't know exactly what the Zombot infection is, that's definitely something Charmy would do. So I'm going to put that at the bottom of C. Going back to SBO, I think the way SBO has been used so far has been okay. You know, he hasn't had the spotlight yet or any, you know, sort of like shining moments as far as I can remember, so I'll put him at the top of C. You know, he's all right. He's pretty much the way that I would expect, but it doesn't go any sort of further beyond and sort of meet my expectations of it, if you will. With Rouge, you know, like there's definitely like some story elements that they've done recently where, you know, she is sort of like a very shady character, but at the same time, you know, she is a good guy or good girl, good character at the end of the day. And then with Vector. When Vector sacrifices himself in the Zombot arc, I was like, man, that's Vector. Like, you know, he might be a goofball along with the rest of the Chaotix members, but when he did that, that was definitely something that really stuck out to me, and definitely a moment from the comics that I will not forget. You know, the whole zombie apocalypse Zombot arc, that's definitely one of the moments that I will personally remember in a positive light. Tangle. Tangle the lemur, or whatever the heck her name is, her full name is, but Tangle. She's a very cool new Sonic IDW character that they've introduced exclusively for the comics. I don't know if I think she's appeared in the mobile game, but I'm not going to count that as like a main series game. But yeah, Tangle is a very cool Sonic character. I think that the way she's introduced within issue 4 or issue 5 of the comics is very, very good. She's kind of like, she's not like Sonic or like Blaze or anything like that. She's actually her own character. She's very quirky. She's very funny. She has a lot of comedic moments, and I really do like that about her. And that's why she's going to go in A. She is a very cool character, and I'm very excited to see her whenever I see her within the comics. And especially the Tangle and Whisper comic, which, you know, that's kind of cheating because that pretty much gave her and Whisper a entire arc for them to learn about each other and sort of understand one another. But yeah, that's why Tangle is an A tier, because she got extra character development within her own miniseries. I forget who this character name is, but I know who she is. She is what's it called? She is Tangle's best friend, kind of. And she had a sort of little story within the Sonic annual, the first annual, But outside of that, I don't know much about her. But she was cool. I think she's a armadillo or something like that. You know, she flies around. She has diamonds on like her body and stuff. She's cool, you know, but like it's alright. She's not anything amazing. Dr. Starline, he's one of the new villains that they've introduced for the comics exclusively, just like with Tangle, but just as a villain. Dr. Starline is a very interesting character. You know, the fact that he is sort of someone that really looked up to Eggman and was sort of the one to bring Eggman back to his normal self. And then on top of that, you know, him having his own little arc with the bad guys, I think is the newest sort of a spin-off that Sonic IDW is doing at the moment. But yeah, Dr. Starline is pretty cool. I think that he probably could have a lot more potential, maybe even be like a bigger threat than Eggman, but obviously they want to keep, you know, the sort of Sonic and Eggman thing going with the IDW comics, which is respectable and understandable, but I think personally I would have liked to see Dr. Starline do a lot more. So because of that, he's not going to go in A, but he's definitely going to go at the very top of B. So yeah, Dr. Starline is pretty cool in my opinion. Rough and Tumble, they're okay. I think that they would definitely be at the bottom of B though. You know, they're just the duo evil guys that, you know, they're sort of like the grunts that just, you know, go out and do stuff. They're not exactly all that smart either. Their introduction within issue 3 of the comics I think was very, very good, and every single time they reappear, they're funny. You know, they're pretty much the comic relief, if you will, the sort of Bulk and Skull equivalent from the Power Rangers to the Sonic IDW series, if you will, if that makes any sense to any Power Rangers fans out there that are also Sonic fans. This new character, I don't know what her name is, but she has a very cool design, and I think her backstory is that she was probably a robot controlled by Eggman before, but now she has like her own thoughts and things like that. She's pretty cool, like from a character design standpoint, which is why I'm not going to put her in IDK, because I don't know her name. I forgot it, honestly, but she is definitely a very new character, so I think that she could have a lot of potential. I don't know if they've done anything recently with her in the recent issues, but, you know, I think that they could do a lot with her. You know, maybe she could be a bad guy or something like that. You know, maybe she's working with Eggman. Who knows? Amy Rose. This is definitely something that has sort of changed in my opinion about Amy in the comics. I thought that she was like a fine character, but after watching the many videos about Ian Flynn and how like he sort of made her like a Mary Sue or whatever, I could definitely see it. Do I agree with it? I'm not gonna exactly put that out there, but a little, just a little. But yeah, you know, Amy being the head of the Resistance and having a lot of sort of I guess she has a lot more character within the comics than she does within the games, which is understandable because that's what the comics are supposed to do, sort of flesh out these characters and give us a new perspective and new view of them. And Amy Rose, you know, she's kind of like a Mary Sue. She does do a lot of things right, and she does make a lot of decisions, and she is the head of the Resistance after, I guess, Knuckles didn't want to do it anymore after Sonic Forces or whatever. But yeah, you know, Amy, I can't put her in C, but I can't put her in A either, so she's definitely going to be in B. But exactly where in B? I think I'll put her right there. Yeah, I think I'll put her there. She's not complete dog, or she's not, you know, completely whatever either, you know, but she's okay. I forget who this character is, so I'm just going to skip her. Mimik, I think that this is the character's name. He was pretty much the main villain within the Tangle and Whisper miniseries that pretty much fleshes out their story, and Mimik has a lot of backstory with Whisper. And yeah, Mimik is a pretty cool villain. I mean, like, his character design is very, like, sort of, I guess, on the darker side. I guess edgy is what you could probably call it. He's a very edgy character, and he does look pretty cool. He's a octopus, I think, or whatever, but he is kind of dumb too, as you probably have read within the Sonic Bad Guy series. But yeah, I think that he is overall like a very, very cool villain, and really does tie in everything together with Tangle and Whisper within that miniseries. Alright, so when it comes to the 7 or the 6 evil sixes or whatever, the deadly evil whatever the hell, I'm not a huge fan of them, I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna automatically put them in D. I played a little bit of Sonic Forces, but like they just seem like very generic and just like not exactly all that there, and like the way that they're used within the comics in my opinion is sort of like the same way. Like they're just there to sort of you know, Dr. Starline messes up, he's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna align with the deadly evil 6 or whatever, and it was like, oh, you're probably not supposed to do that because if you did your research, you know, Eggman did that in Sonic Lost World, and that obviously didn't work out. So Yeah, I mean, I guess they are kind of a threat, but like in the Zombot arc, they're sort of just there to sort of keep the Chaos Emeralds in their possession or whatever the hell it was. So, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them. I mean, like Zavix, like the main one, which is why he's like all the way at the top. But the other ones are like whatever, you know, like they could be interchangeable within this order. But Zavix at the top because he's the one that sort of gets the most time on paper, if you will. I was gonna say on screen, but on paper. The Babylon Rogues, I was very surprised to see them in the Zombot arc, especially towards the end, but they pretty much act and sort of mimic the way that they did within the comics. You know, Jet is always sort of being like the arrogant one and sort of like nagging on Sonic, like, hi, it looks like you need my help because you can't run off the infection or whatever. And, you know, the rest of them also act accordingly to how Jet's acting. You know, Wave is like, what the hell are you doing? And Storm's like, whatever, you know, sort of thing. But overall, I would definitely put them in C, you know, just because they act the way that they do within the games, but I'm not like fully blown away or like sort of like, I guess, a step above of what I would expect. So like, you know, like I explained earlier with Rouge and all of these other characters, you know, Rouge acts the way she does within the games, but she does have a little more story to her as of right now within the comics. I don't know who these people are. Oh, wait, now I remember. These people were part of Whisper's sort of team, but they all died. So I don't really have much of like a emotional attachment to them. But yeah, they were definitely cool within Whisper's story, but as characters, I don't really have a opinion on them, you know. They serve their point in terms of being Whisper's, you know, old friends and, you know, in terms of like what Mimik did to them afterwards, but I don't have like a opinion of them, if you will, individually. Cream, and I guess I'll do a Cream and all of the other Chow, you know, Cheese and Chocola, I believe. Yeah, Cheese is a character that I did not expect to like as much within the comics because I think that the way that they've, you know, put her in is sort of what I would expect, but also on top of that, the way she interacts and reacts was very cool, I think. You know, she's very innocent. She's very naive. She doesn't really exactly know how the world works, if you will. You know, she is a kid at the end of the day. So seeing her interact and how the Zombot infection affected her and her family was very, very nice. But I wouldn't put her anywhere above the bottom of B. Along with Cheese and Chocola, I think Cheese had, or like when they became infected, that was pretty cool. I think that Cheese and Chocola had some pretty cool moments as well. I'm gonna put Chocola at the bottom, but Cheese definitely 100% had some cool moments within the comics so far. Gerald, I believe is his name, the robot assistant that lives with Cream's mom as well. I mean, you know, Cream's mom is like whatever at the end of the day, you know, she doesn't really serve much of a purpose for me personally within the comics so far. Like, she hasn't really done much in my opinion. Emerald, you know, he's all right too. I think that I would definitely put him in C as well. Whoops, I accidentally right-clicked. But yeah, you know, Emerald's whatever. Oma Chow, I mean, I hate Oma Chow. So, moving on. Let's touch on Sonic. So I think the way that Sonic has been handled within the comics is sort of like what I would expect. You know, he's like the OP character. He's the main guy, you know. The comic is named after him. His name is Sonic the Hedgehog. So obviously during the Zombot arc, when he didn't get fully infected until like the very end when he turned super with Silver, I was like, you know, I feel like that they could have done more with that story, like I said within my video. They could have had, you know, Sonic get infected and then have one of the other side characters sort of like take over and be like the main person to like, you know, take over like Sonic's position for the time being, you know, sort of thing. But yeah, you know, Sonic is Sonic, and I think that the way he acts and the way he is treated within the comics is sort of what I expect. So he's gonna go at the top of B. You know, like he doesn't, you know, do anything extraordinary or anything like insane yet. You know, like when he lost his memory, I thought that was like a very cool, like sort of like plot point that they could like use, but like he instantly like gets his memory back, and I was like, whatever. I guess they're just trying to find a way to like reset the sort of Sonic universe after the whole Zombot arc that lasted for so long. You know, Metal Sonic being the one to be, you know, like Neo Metal Sonic and all of that other stuff was very cool because I have a very strong attachment to Sonic Heroes, as that is my first ever Sonic game that I played like a lot. So Neo Metal Sonic and Metal Sonic as a character, I think that he was done justice within the comics so far, and now he's sort of just like a mute, you know, robot to Dr. Eggman as, you know, his sort of like second-hand man, if you will. Sort of just will do whatever the hell he wants. But yeah, you know, I definitely will put him at the top of B as well. I can't put him in A within good conscience just because, he had one like super cool arc, but like after that he hasn't really done much yet. But yeah, definitely Neo Metal Sonic was definitely super duper cool in my book. Blaze the Cat. Blaze the Cat is always a character that I love to see. I love the Sonic Rush games, and her being a sort of like equivalent to Sonic from like another universe or like another dimension or whatever. And she pretty much has the same things that Sonic does. She's super fast. She has these soul emeralds, all that other stuff. And every single time I see Blaze, it's probably just like my own personal bias, but whenever I see her within the comics, like that whole scene with Sonic losing his memory, I loved every single like page of that. I loved seeing Blaze and Sonic interact within that aspect, and just seeing Blaze interact with the other Sonic characters is always cool to me. So yeah, personal bias is definitely going to take over here, and it's going to be A. This guy, he's I don't know what his name is, but he's just a shady character that Rouge is like interacting with. He's all right, he's whatever. I'm just gonna put him at the bottom of C because I don't know if he's done anything else since I've read. I forget exactly which issue I'm currently on. I think I'm on like, I don't even know. I'll put it on your screen. But I'm definitely like 2 to 3 issues behind. I don't know who this character is. I don't know who this character is. Big. Yeah, Big's in the comics. I don't think he's done anything yet. So I'm also gonna stick him in D because I don't think he's done anything yet. I can't remember anything Big has done within the comics yet, other than like the little like moments or small little stories within the annual. He hasn't done anything within like the mainline comics. So yeah, Big is big, if you will. E123 Omega. Has he done anything yet? I can't remember either. But I'm pretty sure he just acts the way he does within the games, and E123 Omega is pretty cool. I have, like I said, strong attachment to Sonic Heroes, and he was introduced within that game, so I'll put him at the bottom of C. I'm not gonna do him dirty like Big, because Big's definitely a very weird Sonic character, if you will. But E123 Omega is kind of cool within some regards. Orbot and Cubot, they are just there for comic relief, and I think that every single time they're on screen or on paper and they say something or do something funny, yeah, I enjoy their presence, if you will. So I will put them, where would I put them? I think I'll put them above Gerald and above all of these other characters, because whenever they are actually on screen, I actually do get a kick out of them, sort of with their, whatever dumb stuff that they're going to say. Don't know who this guy is. Tails. Okay, Tails. Tails had a really cool moment within the comics when he was trying to get the solution for the Zombot infection, and he was so close, so close, but the infected cheese and Chocola Chow obviously thwarted his plan, and that whole issue with Tails doing that and him trying to escape was very cool. I really did like that issue, and the tail end of it when Amy was like, the resistance base fell and everything happened. I don't know, Tails in that issue in particular and throughout the comics in general has been a pretty solid character, if you will. So I will actually put him at the top of B, because I think that one issue where he did all that was a really big highlight for me personally. Whisper. Okay, Whisper. As you can tell, I love Tangle, I love Mimik, so obviously I think Whisper is also going to be up there as well. Her backstory and her entire thing with how the Resistance and the Sonic Forces storyline and how that connects with her, that was very creative, and how they're treating her as a character, I really, really love. So, yeah, overall, I really do like Whisper as a character, and I think that the more stuff that they do with Tangle and Whisper, if they do a second miniseries with those two characters, if they could come up with a way to do another miniseries with them that isn't just a backstory to sort of explain Tangle and Whisper and who they are, but actually an actual story, I'm down for it, because those two characters are super duper dope, and they're probably the best thing to come out of the Sonic IDW series overall. So, Knuckles. Yeah, Knuckles. He's Knuckles. I mean, what else can I say about Knuckles? He acts and sort of does the things that I expect Knuckles to do. Yeah, his main thing being the protector of Angel Island, I really do like. I think that within the games they don't really mention that as much. But yeah, within the first couple of issues they really established that he is the protector of Angel Island, the protector of the Master Emerald, etc., etc. So, and yeah, Knuckles does have some pretty funny moments and some pretty cool ones as well with Sonic and the whole Neo Metal Sonic thing that happened. But yeah, definitely so far so good on Knuckles. I'm not he hasn't had a stellar moment for me personally, but he's had some moments here and there that have stood out. Okay, Silver. I'm a huge fan of Silver. honestly. I really wish that Silver became like the main character during the Zombot arc and became super at the end by himself with saving Sonic as well, and Sonic was infected for like however many issues. You know, I think that was an idea that would have been a lot cooler and a lot better, but you know, like, this is a kid's comic. This is something that Sega wants to do to promote Sonic and not sort of have him, you know, be a zombie for however many issues or however many pages. So I think that Silver in the comics, he's very cool. He's drawn very nicely and very emotely. He shows a lot of emotion, just like with all of the other characters. But every single time I see Silver, and whenever he's involved with Sonic or any other characters, I am enthralled with. I love Silver. I mean, he's a hedgehog from the future, and he has telekinetic abilities, guys. Like, come on, Silver's super duper cool. And I think that he has a lot of story left within him that hopefully the team at Sonic IDW will tackle, maybe in a miniseries or within the main line. Dr. Eggman, I think the whole what's the thing, when he didn't have his memory, when like he was just you know, I forget the name of it, but you know, he was harmless. You know, I thought that was a very cool angle to take it. And then when he obviously came back as Dr. Eggman, you know, he's doing Eggman things, doing reckless plans, thwarting Sonic, etc., etc. You know, he has his moments as well. I think that when him and Dr. Starline came to realize that, like, wait, you hired the Deadly Evil 6 and, like, you did all that, but, like, you know, they, like, betrayed me before and stuff like that, like, and the way that Eggman sort of thrusts his sort of authority on Dr. Starline was, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, like, Eggman actually has like a spine, and you know, like he actually you know, doesn't get pushed over, if you will, just like he does within the games. He actually, you know, is willing to put his foot down and be like, Dr. Starline, you shouldn't have tried to kill Sonic and Silver. That is my job, you know. So I think that was definitely a very cool moment, so I'm gonna put him in B as well. Shadow. So the last character that I'm going to talk about is Shadow, and I think that a lot of people within the Sonic IDW community can agree that when he got infected, that was kind of dumb. I don't think a lot of people really expected Shadow to get infected, especially so early, and I agree with that sentiment, which is why some people think that like Shadow's like a dummy or whatever, but like, you know, right now he's doing like his whole like thing where he's trying to figure something out. I forget exactly what it was, but he's on his own solo mission, which is, you know, sort of something Shadow would do. But yeah, definitely him getting infected is not good for his image overall. But I will definitely put him in C. He would be in B if you know, he didn't get infected the way he did. But yeah, this is my Sonic IDW's tier list, or IDW characters tier list. Yeah, let me know in the comment section below where you guys would have your own tier list, where would you put these characters, etc., etc. You know, you can add me on Twitter with your own tier list and, you know, take a screenshot of it, etc., etc. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys have not already, you can subscribe and put new videos up on Saturdays. You can follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter. Try to put up my future videos on there. Check out my podcast, the Travis and Damian podcast. We talk about games, movies, anime every other week. We are definitely in depth on WandaVision and a couple of other anime series that we are watching. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching this video once again. I'll see you guys next time with more videos.